What's up, all you boys, girls, and non binary squirrels, and welcome yourselves into the Outcast podcast. Today I'm here with Jason and Megan, and I'm your host, Taylor. I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hi, I am Jason. I am a thing.
I'm Megan, and I am a film student.
Great. We have a thing and a film student. That's perfect. All right, so our topics for this podcast episode today are what our thoughts are on Marvel versus DC, like their superheroes and their stories and whatnot. Um, a video game that we think everyone should play at least once. And we're also going to be talking about a certain thing about Star Wars, and I'll clear that up when we get to that. So we'll start off with the Marvel versus DC, and specifically about Marvel DC. Like, what do you guys think about like their superheroes and how they compare, or
If I'm being perfectly honest, most of the time I generally prefer DC heroes, with the single exception of being that Marvel has made significantly better films at all, because there hasn't been good superhero movies, you know, before the recent Marvel films.
yeah, that's
But
understandable.
so if we're going to talk films, it's definitely Marvel. But if we're going to talk literally anything else, it's hands down DC stuff.
I
The
mean,
characters just tend to be a little bit more relatable.
I don't know. Like, I like Marvel. I feel like I'm very biased
Biased.
in saying that, but like, I do really enjoy Marvel both in the comics and in like the movies. I will say one thing DC does do better is TV shows. DC does TV shows way better until Disney Plus. Uh, DC did TV shows way better than Marvel did. But I don't know. Like I watched DC like animated stuff as a kid and I enjoyed it. I like both. As Superman's my favorite DC character. like
Oh yeah, no, the one thing I've always wanted to watch but haven't actually got around to doing is watching All Star Superman,
Oh
which
yeah.
I hear is one of the best uh, renditions of Superman as a character. It's one of the most accurate because Superman is a dude.
mhm.
He's not a Zack Snyder God character that will stare dispassionately at burning children. Um,
Yeah.
Wow.
have you watched the DC movies recently?
yeah.
They're weird, man.
That is very true.
They're-
I know. I
they're-
will say, like, I was super disappointed. I absolutely hated and think Batman versus Superman was a disgrace of a movie. And then the Justice League sucked.
Didn't even watch that movie.
And, like, Taylor keeps saying, I want to watch the Snyder Cut. And I'm like, okay, but it sucked. like, why would I want to, like, force myself for 4 hours of that shit? Like,
Um, because from what I've heard, a lot of the stuff that was really bad about the original Justice League are actually gone. It's more Snydery,
yes,
as in
I know.
no colors, really
No
long-winded,
colors.
slow motion.
Yeah.
Snydery.
Yeah. See, I don't think I'd
But-
like that either.
Yeah, but I have heard it is a huge step up from the original.
It's not hard to
But
be a
it's also
step
4
up.
hours long.
It's also 4 hours long.
Yeah.
And that is kind of a turnoff.
Mhm. Absolutely.
One thing that I think was like was an interesting choice, was that from like all like things I've seen about the Snyder Cut, it's in 4:3 ratio.
Oh, that's cool though.
That is really cool.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like it when well,
Funky
I mean,
cameras are always fun.
Yeah.
I guess it depends. Like if there was like an actual like cinematic purpose in deciding to do 4:3, then I think it's really cool. But if they were just like, oh, now we just feel like doing 4:3, then that kind of doesn't make sense.
I think the
I mean,
reason-
yeah, but funky cameras are fun, Megan.
that's true.
Yeah, but you have to have a stylistic reason for
I think-
choosing it. You can't just be like, oh, I just
Well-
feel like shooting in 4:3.
Well, I know like the reason like like the first 2 episodes of WandaVision were filmed in like 4:3 was like to
It
represent
was
the
to
time
represent
period.
time, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that was one of the neat things about the show. It copied different eras of television.
yeah, I thought that was cool. But I think the reason they did like the 4:3 ratio for the Snyder cut of the Justice League was because like most of the characters fly, and so you're gonna be looking up and down when they fight and not left to right. So it kind of narrows your vision to what was happening on like that part of the
Okay,
screen.
but a lot of that, I mean, if you wanted to keep it consistent with the rest of it, yeah. But then again, Snyder does like his really epic flying shots.
Yeah, he does.
But otherwise, most of the flying stuff is just a CG character in a CG scene. And most of the issues that come with that kind of stuff is how the camera moves.
That's true.
Well, and like I could understand if they were doing it like practically, like having people on wires and like really not doing a lot of CG, like more like TV show productions do it. Then like I
Even
could
the stuff
understand.
if you ever see some of the behind the scenes stuff for stuff like that, even when they're on wires, it's still coded in CG.
No, I know.
Their
But what
outfits
I'm
are
saying,
CG, the sky is CG.
Right, but what I'm saying though is
but-
if they had decided to do it mostly wire work, mostly with like maybe a green screen background, but like do it more like in early 2000s like and before.
More like
instead of
Mad
doing-
Max Fury Road.
Yeah.
Right, like then I could get it because like you would want to narrow the view so you don't see all the mistakes probably.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
I wouldn't get it if you are just doing it because like you think it would look cool and like it doesn't really help with the practicality of the effects.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, if you're working on a work of art, which film is, you should always use the right tools for what you want to do and not just do random things for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it'd be like deciding you're going to paint a painting with a koala bear for no reason instead of a paintbrush.
You know how much money you'd probably make off that shit though? Come on. Anybody would want a koala bear painting.
A painted koala bear or a painting made of koala bears? There's so many weird things in there that some crazy rich person would buy, but that's not what we're talking about. We're going to talk about Marvel versus DC. That's what we're supposed to be talking about.
That is what we're talking about.
No, we've gone on a rant about filmmaking.
I would
Listen, how do you not do that when you're talking about films?
No, I do, but I want to go back to the subject.
Yeah.
I want to discuss the animated series that they had for the various franchises. I think that the classic 80s animated series from DC were fantastic. And the same, I guess, could be said about Marvel, because we have the X-Men stuff, but that kind of got really 90s really quick.
Yeah.
But the classic, Batman the Animated Series is probably one of the best renditions of Batman in any form of media.
Yeah, the Batman, like, that animated
With
series.
one exception. With one exception. The Justice League animated series from the early 2000s.
Yeah, that's what I watched as a kid.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I have that on disc still. I watch it occasionally.
I think our discs got destroyed in a flood, but I did have them for a very long time.
Nice.
But it represents the characters as the characters and not how people think the characters are. It doesn't have a goofy Adam West Batman or really edgy 90s Batman with bat nipples. It doesn't have Batman just shooting people with guns like Zack Snyder.
Yeah. Which is so wrong.
That's literally there's this thing called the Flashpoint paradox, and of which the whole point is in a world without the Flash, stuff was real bad. And one of those included a Batman with a gun, which was such a huge shock and horrible thing that it was really showed how bad the world would be. Like, the side note was the fact that there was a genocidal war going on. The big thing was Batman was shooting people.
And everyone's like, what the fuck?
Well, the people reading, yeah, but not the people in the world, because they
Yeah.
were used to it, because that was their horrible, messed up world. So when Zack Snyder just opens up with it, it's like the man read literally just Year One and what's the other one? The Dark Knight ones, where he's old
Yeah.
and stuff is really bad, and Superman works for future Ronald Reagan.
A future Ronald Reagan?
Yeah, no, it's a universe where Ronald Reagan became the dictator and Superman worked for him.
Wow.
Yeah, it was wild. They made an animated show about it. It's not as good as the comics, of course.
Of course.
It's one of the most famous Batman comics. And I feel like he read that and went, I know Batman, even though that is, specifically supposed to be a breakdown of what an old, broken Batman was, and not who Batman was.
Mm-hmm.
He just looked up like top 5 like most read Batman comics ever. Read
them, and that was it.
Read
And that- it's
specifically
not
those,
enough.
and then just kind of just made his shit.
Well,
It's just
yeah,
not enough.
well, and that is in the end why Marvel has done so much better with their movie adaptations, because you have Kevin
Yeah,
Feige,
because the people who make the movies know
amazing.
their shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
we've read
who the hell
every
goes
comic
into a Thor
ever
movie and says,
possible.
I'm going to throw some Planet Hulk in there?
Yeah. Well, yeah, they read every possible comic, every possible combination they could have done of each comic book, and they, like, thoroughly planned that shit out years in advance.
I think that's why Thor Ragnarok worked out so well, because they combined a bunch of stories and like made them like mesh together, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they pulled it off really well.
The true reason why the Marvel movies have worked so well is, A, they found a system that people like and have not broken away from it, and with the exception of movies like Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
But
I don't know, the Thor movie
it was made by
were pretty
fans.
bad.
The movies were made by fans who knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Instead of some weird middle-aged dude that's really edgy for some reason.
Wait, though, I have a question. Did you think the Thor movies, like the original 2, were good?
No.
I was gonna say, because like
Thor 2 is one of the most boring movies I've ever watched.
I know, exactly. Because when you said that, I was like, wait, the Thor movies were not good before Ragnarok.
No,
like,
no, I'm
they-
specifically referring to Ragnarok. The first Thor movie is okay at best.
Yeah,
It
it's
does a decent job
it's
at
watchable.
introducing ideas.
it's watchable.
I would put it at about the same place as Black Panther.
Black
Okay, that's a
Panther's
little mean to
good.
Black
That
Panther.
is mean.
The
to
first
Black
half
Panther.
of Black
Wow.
Panther is actually kind of fun.
Wow.
I actually okay, full
What
stop.
do you have
Like
against Black Panther, bro?
okay, like
The last third of it's horrible. What do you mean?
full.
No,
Okay,
I
like
disagree.
like I think Black Panther is the only Marvel movie I haven't seen.
You gotta
Really?
Yeah, it's the only one I haven't seen because
insane.
I actually like watched, because the only two I haven't seen were Black Panther and Captain Marvel.
You saw Captain Marvel.
Yeah, and I watched Captain Marvel with you and Mechna.
Yeah.
But
Captain Marvel was not a fun movie.
it was meh.
What? Shut up.
What? I didn't
I'm
like
being
that
honest.
film.
I'm being honest.
Do you want me
Okay,
to lie
why?
to you? We're not even
Why?
the same state. What are you gonna do to me?
No, yeah, I'm not gonna do anything either way. I just like, I feel like most of the time the reasons people say they don't like Captain Marvel, I can then be like, okay, well,
I don't like Captain Marvel because it has really awkward dialogue the whole time, and I could at no point relate with the main character.
really awkward dialogue the whole time.
Uh,
Okay,
The way they talk to each other was
No.
just weird, with the exception of the scenes with Nick Fury in it.
Yeah, Nick
Because
Fury was the
Samuel L.
best part.
Jackson is...
that's not really true. I disagree with that actually. And the reason that they talk differently isn't because they're like, they're not from our planet, and like this woman thinks that she is literally a different like alien species where they all are like elitists. Like, of course they're gonna talk differently, and it's gonna seem a
All right,
little
Megan, that's an
awkward.
excuse, and you know it because of Guardians of the Galaxy that exists.
Yeah.
I know
And
that
Guardian
Guardian-
and both of those movies
I-
are like top tier fucking Marvel movies.
Yeah, no, I understand. Guardians of the Galaxy is really good, but I do not think any of the dialogue is awkward enough in the movie to justify saying the movie's bad because the awkward dialogue.
Well, it's not the only thing. It felt like it was pushing the '90s things a little too hard in the first bit.
Yeah, I can feel that.
I don't know. I just felt disappointed by the end of it. It felt like by the end of it, we had a really strong character that the movie only existed to give us someone who could fight Thanos. That's what it felt like. It didn't feel like a journey to me, or it didn't really have any major character arcs.
I mean, it was a journey though. Like, did you miss the whole part where she like actually has the whole arc of understanding that she like has her powers and like should have just believed in herself and her instincts the whole time, and that the whole race she came from was actually just trying to suppress her, so then she had to become an independent person.
But she was independent before that. The character arc was more of a series of plot points of the greater world, and it wasn't about a personal emotional. I like stories with emotional centers, and I just did not relate with the main character at all.
Yeah.
Also, I was disappointed by the screen.
Yeah. I think like by the end of that movie, like after watching it, like it wasn't a great, like, to be honest, it's not a great movie, but it's not a necessarily bad movie either. It's kind of
Oh no, I wouldn't say it's a bad movie. It's just I wouldn't call it a good movie.
It's just average.
At no point did I relate with the main cast of characters. I felt more for the random Scree dude than I ever did Captain Marvel. He had like a long jacket or something. No idea what his name was.
Yeah, no.
But I felt bad for him. He was a refugee running away from genocidal maniacs.
Yeah.
And that was an interesting story. And the idea that that you were brainwashed to committing the genocide is also interesting, but wasn't terribly dug into the emotional repercussions of that happening. It just kind of felt like Captain Marvel, just like, oh, well, that's bad. I'm gonna go punch these guys now. It just didn't feel like there was enough gratification for what it would mean. There was also the weird relationship that they were trying to do with with the alien genocide guy, who was her like previous sergeant or whatever, her handler.
Yeah, that's.
And that was weird. The conversation with the Overmind was weird, but not in a fun way. It felt more of a pushy way to to just give information to the audience. There's a word for that, and I'm just forgetting it. There was just a lot of amateurish stuff that went on with the writing with it, and that just threw me out of it.
Yeah.
I don't blame any of the actors for it. The actors did the best with what they were given.
Oh yeah.
Because really, if your actor's failing to deliver, it tends to be the director's fault. As we can see with, of all things, Halo. Halo 4 has excellent voice acting, and they had the same people doing Halo 5, which has god-awful voice acting for the first time in the Halo franchise, with the exception of that one ship from Halo 2. But I don't know, I was just disappointed by the end of it. The same was with Black Panther. I was disappointed at the end. Black Panther had a lot riding for it. It had an emotional story. It had interesting characters that we cared about. Its villain is still considered one of the best villains because he had legitimately, understandable reasoning which is notable in the Marvel universe, because mostly you just get, "Bah, I'm evil, mah!" but it just feels like they fumbled it at the end. They went across the whole sports ball field and they dropped it right next to the goal.
I'm like trying to think of the end of Black Panther.
Well, I wouldn't know the end.
It
of
had the
Black Panther.
PlayStation 2 cut. It has a PlayStation 2 cutscene.
Oh yeah, that notorious.
It has a really big fight
Are you
that
talking
would
about
have
the
been a
CG fight
I'm talking, yeah, the last third,
between-
really.
between Black Panther?
Basically,
and...
after T'Challa dies,
yeah.
dies. I'm doing air quotes.
Yeah.
He gets thrown off a cliff into a raging waterfall.
Yeah.
After being brutally beaten. After that point, the story just starts to degrade. I don't know. It's just the climax of the movie just wasn't there for me. They just immediately were marching off to war. They're like, we're just gonna shoot our own people to stop them from going to war. And it's just a mess. The end of it's a mess, and it feels like they just wanted to have a big fight at the end of their superhero movie. And I don't think it should have been that.
Yeah, I can't really say anything about the story because I have like I said, I haven't really watched Black Panther, but like I do know about like that fight scene between Black Panther and
the fight
Killmonger.
scene's not the issue. It's an issue. It's
one issue.
Okay, that's an issue though that like I think.
But it's not what bothers me the most. What bothers me the most is that they had this big emotional build-up between two people who were cousins. They were family.
Yeah.
And they disagreed on how the country should be ruled. And it ended with them just punching each other. And then he says a one-liner, and the movie basically ends. It does a great job at introducing Wakanda, which was the overarching goal of the movie. But I was just disappointed. The movie, up until T'Challa gets thrown off a cliff, is like a 9 out of 10. And the last third's like a 4 out of 10 cookie cutter. And it's just so disappointing. And that was my issue with it.
Alright, so like since we're like kind of like also talking about like Marvel movies, because like this is like also part of the whole topic of Marvel versus DC. What are like your guys' like favorite Marvel movies, like or at least like your top 3?
I won't be able to place them in order, but the first Guardians of the Galaxy, because I didn't particularly care for the second one as much. Thor Ragnarok, of course, because that movie is an absolute gem.
Yes.
And I think the first Avengers.
Okay. See, for me, it's probably gonna be. I'll agree with you on Guardians. I was obsessed with Guardians of the Galaxy when it came out.
Oh yeah, no, that movie's fantastic, an absolute masterpiece.
I think that I really liked Civil War just because of like the arc between Tony and Cap and like all that. So I think Civil War.
I have issues with Civil War. It's a great movie.
You have issues with a lot of the Marvel movies I like. So I think we should just agree to disagree, Jason.
Yeah, I know. That's the point. We're here to complain. We are here to complain about things. It's what gets views on the internet.
Wait, let me finish. And then I actually I think my third favorite movie is gonna be see, it's hard. Because, like, I really liked both the Spider-Mans, and, like, I think I liked...
Which one did you like better?
I forgot those were Marvel movies.
I don't know. Which ones do I like better, Taylor?
I know which one I liked better.
I think I actually liked Far From Home better.
You liked Far From Home?
I can respect that.
Yeah.
I can respect that.
Like, I liked them
Far
both,
From Home,
definitely, but I liked Far From Home.
Far From Home is a way more interesting movie.
It is.
In a lot of ways. But
I liked it mainly because, like, Jake Gyllenhaal played a great villain, and I really
he nailed that.
Yeah, he was perfect for that.
And I fucking loved that, like, he's just, like, you know, you see later in the movie that he's just, like, a fucking jerk laughing at this like poor kid who just lost his mentor. Like,
Yeah, no, the emotional stuff that movie is fantastic. Definitely at least an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
But I personally prefer the first Spider-Man movie a little bit more because I don't know. It was just fun seeing Spider-Man come into his own, and it not be a weird Sam Raimi film or Spider-Man being a really hot skater dude for some reason.
yeah. No, I know. Like,
Like what's his name? What is the name of the boy?
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield?
No,
Tobey
the one
Maguire?
the one that's actually Spider-Man.
Oh,
The one who played a good Peter Parker. the one in the recent movies.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland, yeah. I knew his name was Tom, but I just kept going to
I was just
Hiddleston, and I just
confused.
knew that wasn't
Oh,
right.
yeah, no. I was just confused because I thought you were talking about one of the older ones. I was like,
Yeah, no. Tommy Boy just kind of nailed it. He
absolutely.
was a weird little awkward kid, and that's Peter Parker.
I know.
That
Well,
is
and that's
Peter.
what I like too, because like I always say whenever I talk to people about this, I'm like, Tobey Maguire was a good Peter Parker, but a bad Spider-Man, and then
Yes.
Andrew Garfield was a good Spider-Man, but a really, really shitty Peter Parker. And
No,
then,
I think he was a bad Spider-Man too, but keep going.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he was. Yeah, I mean it's been very long since I've seen those movies, so you
These
could be
movies are
right.
weird. They're
Um,
so weird.
But then I really like, I don't know, Tom Holland just like all around chef's kiss. Like he does an amazing
Yeah, no,
job.
he nailed every
Oh, yeah,
aspect of it.
He's like the movie Peter Parker right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, he just nailed Peter Parker,
Yeah.
kind of like how Robert Downey Jr. nailed Iron Man.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Man has always been a distressed alcoholic asshole with a heart of gold buried underneath all of that shit. But and they grabbed him from a point where he really was getting to be unhireable,
Yeah.
and it was great. He did perfectly. So much so that you can't actually separate Robert Downey Jr. from Tony Stark anymore.
He like basically
He's
literally
become
is.
he's become a permanent mark that will forever change how he is. Kind of like how Guardians became popular for the first time with the movie, and now all the characters in the comics are closer to the movie than they were before than the original comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because these movies are big and inspirational and all that. But
Yeah. I just realized I never even like.
can I complain about Civil War yet?
No, we can do that after I say what my 3 favorite Marvel movies are.
Yeah.
But you're the host. You don't matter.
No, he matters.
No, I gotta say my 3 favorites are like definitely Guardians, the first one. These aren't in like any order as well. So yeah, like Guardians. I know it's kind of like, oh yeah, of course you would say that, but Infinity War, because like
Which part?
well, just because Thanos is such a good character in that movie
Yeah.
specifically.
In part one, yes.
Yeah. Solely because like it's his movie and not like just the Avengers.
Yeah, no, he is. He plays what would traditionally fill in a lot of the protagonist roles.
Yeah. And what's my honestly, I really like Age of Ultron.
That's interesting. Age of Ultron is that one Marvel movie that every single time I watch it, I'm like, damn, this movie is so much longer than I thought it was gonna be. And like every time
That is never a good
Go.
sign. That is such a bad sign. But damn it, you're right.
Yeah, no. it is.
I will agree with you on that. But like
It's like, just get to the point already, man.
I
Ugh.
can't really exactly like pin it down why.
Well, like it is good because like I love the introduction of Vision. I love the villain. Like he does like Ultron is
Oh,
great. But
yeah.
like I don't know, man. It just the movie goes on for too long. That's all.
It is. It's entirely too long. It's got way too much going on in it. It's introducing, like, how many new characters are introduced in that movie? You have
it introduced
Wanda, Petro. It introduces Vision, and the villain, of course. But
Yeah.
but I'm talking other than the main villain.
It also
because they never
introduces,
survive.
It also introduces the it also introduces Andy Serkis's character.
Wow. Who?
I don't remember what his name is, but like I know he gets his arm.
Oh, mercenary guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's important, kind of, to Black Panther.
Yeah.
He was part of what made that movie so interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it adds a bunch of new characters, and the movie suffers for it because, well,
It feels
the movie is about Tony Stark's screw up.
Yeah.
Civil War is about dealing with that screw up, but which is actually one of my issues with Civil War. I have issues with Civil War.
Yes, I can tell.
No, but like
you keep saying it.
no, but like I think the reason why I like Age of Ultron so much is like one, I actually really like Vision's introduction, and like when he like first appears and shit like that.
Yeah, that mighty stance when he first like is born.
Yeah, and then like and then he's just like I know you guys don't trust me and all that shit, and then he's like, and I don't expect you to, and then he's like, but we need to go, and he just lifts Thor's hammer and he's just like, here you go, bud.
And then they just roll with it.
And then they're just like, oh shit, okay, we can go.
We gotta leave.
And I also
go.
I also really like James Spader as Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
He did.
Oh yeah, I know.
He did a great job.
What an iconic voice.
The worst part of that movie was they just up and killed Ultron at the end.
Yeah.
Because the greatest aspect of Ultron's character is the long-term implications. It's how he affects a world in the long term is what's the most interesting things about it. Because Age of Ultron and how it's depicted in the comics varies, because occasionally Ultron's just a cookie-cutter enemy that has laser beams. Other times, he's, a Doctor Doom level threat, taking over the world kind of stuff,
Yeah.
Insane levels of power. And often he succeeds. There's a lot of arcs about traveling in the future, or the children of the Avengers trying to deal with the fact that, Ultron killed everyone.
Well, yeah, but they couldn't do that because they decided to go with the whole Thanos arc.
Well, yeah.
Well,
Well,
yeah.
they could have. It's not over. They could have done more past Thanos.
Well, right, but it's because of the fact that this whole phase, like, if they wanted to do something with
It's because of the fact that everything since the first movie has ultimately been building to Thanos.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I mean. Like,
Which is the only reason why I didn't pick Infinity War as one of my favorite movies.
because of Thanos, because of the build up to Thanos.
Because on its own, it's not a good movie.
Hmm.
If you were to sit someone down that has somehow not heard or watched any piece of Marvel movie before this point and told them to watch Infinity War, they're just going to be confused as all hell. Like,
Well,
who are all these
yeah.
people? Why are they acting like this?
Okay.
Where are all these places?
Right. But that's kind of how any cult franchise is. Like, you couldn't. I don't know. There are many movies you could do that with. Just not in Marvel.
No, it's not though. It's different because it's fantastic. It's wonderful. You could almost call it marvelous.
Haha.
But in a lot of the other movies, a lot of our movie franchises are just impossibly horrible after the first or second movie.
Yeah.
They just immediately just schlock and garbage and retread.
Yeah.
Marvel movies do have their issue with, having a formula that they've kept to, and it's kind of worrisome when you notice it. But
I accept the formula. I accept that I am a bitch to the formula.
I know, we've noticed. But they've managed to produce fairly quality movies, despite the fact that there's what, like 20 different movies at this point.
I
Yeah.
think at this point there's like
It's a
20
lot,
it's
and that's just not something that's happened.
somewhere around 25.
I mean, when did the first Iron Man come out?
2008.
Yep.
They've managed to produce 12 years with multiple releases each year of movies, of build up to that moment. And it's a beautiful thing that they managed to do. That they managed to make something that effectively caps off a franchise in such a way. But on its own, it doesn't do that. It's one of those things that you can never watch a second time
I watched it a second time.
and feel the same way.
Oh,
Oh
well,
yeah, no way. No, like literally like everyone went to the theater to see that.
It
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Taylor actually.
it's a
you
unique
said that
experience the first
time.
time. It's kind of like your first time playing New Vegas. Nothing will ever be the same after the first time you play the
I
game.
would not know that.
Even though that there's a bunch of different story options and decisions and vastly different things that can happen, it will never be the same as the first time.
Yeah. Or like when like I know like for you and me, Jason, like or like our first time ever playing Minecraft, you'll never get that same feeling ever again.
Yeah, no, nothing will ever quite be that first month of Minecraft.
Oh yeah.
Because Minecraft is weird, and you get a month before you get to.
Y'all, my first month
Before
of
it starts
Minecraft
being
was in like
weird.
2019.
I know.
Yeah, we know, you child. No, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is a magical thing.
Yeah.
It's also quite clearly a Disney money grab, but it's a magical money grab.
It's a magical Disney money grab.
I will give Disney all of my money to see Marvel anything.
We've noticed.
Listen, I cannot help that it's good.
Can we talk about what I don't like about Civil War now?
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you wanted to talk about that.
We can do that, I guess.
I don't like how cleanly it ended.
Cleanly. Remind me of the ending of Civil
Okay,
War.
so yeah, like how it.
Everyone just kind of left it as friends at the end of it, and
Yeah.
even though the whole premise of the movie was they were going to get a world government to come down and crack down on them, Tony was just kind of like, yeah, we're not going to do it, which goes against his entire plot line and character arc up until that point, which is weird. And Steve was just like, you know, Tony, you may be an asshole, but we're going to be friends still. And all of the Avengers went along with it. There's actually a scene in the movie where Black Widow is just beating the shit out of Clint,
Oh yeah. And,
Hawkeye.
Yeah.
And they stopped and was like, we're still going to be friends after this, right? And she's like, oh yeah, of course.
Okay, well that makes sense for those two.
Yeah, but it takes away the point of the Civil War.
Well, right.
It takes away the weight from it, and I kind of wanted there to be longer lasting effects.
Okay, what
I
I'm
thought
saying. Wait.
It devalues it. Is all I'm trying to
What
say.
I'm saying for Civil War though is like what I'm saying for Black Widow and Clint specifically is like that makes sense for their characters because they've both been known to like, you know, play both sides, do what they're told, be the agents, and not get emotional about it.
It's the kind of people that they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the kind of relationship they have. Yes, but all the same, the idea behind it, which is stretched across almost everyone present, especially at the end of it, devalues the movie. It pulls the weight of what's happening down. And I was disappointed in that.
I need to rewatch the end scene because like, come on.
Don't
My
do it
brain
now.
is
Yeah, no, he gives him a phone and everything.
Yeah, he's just like, here, Tony, here's a phone. Call me if you need anything.
Yeah. Okay though. Wait. What you're missing though is the subtext of that. Like they're not gonna. He says, "Here's a phone if you ever need me," because Cap is trying to be the bigger person, like he generally is. There are still many problems silently between Tony and Cap, though. Why do you think in
Infinity War.
Infinity War and Endgame, they have so much problems with each other. Like, he comes back to...
Well, in Infinity War, they don't even speak once.
Right. Like, the thing
They don't meet. They don't have an opportunity to speak.
Right, but Tony is very angry with Cap when he comes back from his whole space, like, almost dying adventure. Like, he literally is so pissed at Cap, and it's because he's upset they didn't win in the war against Thanos, but he also is upset just because of all of the history those two had gone through together. Like,
I wasn't given that impression when I watched it. Perhaps I should watch it again and see if it's there.
Yeah,
but
well, because he had a lot of problems with, like, the problems didn't end.
He has a lot of problems with most things. He's Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, though, is the friendship with Cap had completely changed after that movie. It was
it was a different relationship, but it was just still too friendly to me.
Well,
and if I'm being perfectly honest, Tony Stark has this nasty habit of taking his personal issues and that he has with himself and throwing them at the people around him. And we all know that he blamed himself over the fact that Thanos won.
Yeah.
And the kid died. Spider-Man died. And he was throwing that at Cap because he couldn't deal with it himself, which he never has been able to. That's his character.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're assigning too much weight to this thing.
I don't think so. I think that
we agree to disagree. Let's move on to a new topic.
Yeah.
Unless you want to hear me rant about a Marvel cartoon.
Nah, I think we're pretty much good with this whole topic.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say the next topic. What's games that everyone should play at least once? Of course, Megan.
New Vegas.
Of course, Megan. Oh yeah, I knew you were gonna say New Vegas. And Megan has.
New Vegas.
And Megan is just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anything.
So I'm just gonna sit here and explain why you should play New Vegas.
Megan just said anything on the Wii.
Actually, no, that's a solid point. Everyone should experience the weird cursed beauty that is the Nintendo Wii.
Oh yeah. Actually, what's funny is I think it was a few months before I left to come down here.
Your dad bought a Wii.
Yeah, my dad was just like, I miss the Wii, so I'm gonna go buy one. And he bought a Wii with 3 working remotes, and we played Wii Sports so much because
we still have a working Wii.
That's awesome.
I think we actually have another one somewhere, but I don't know what ended up happening to it.
I really want to get a Switch.
Yeah, that's understandable.
I like how Jason went completely silent once I said that. I was like, do you have something against the Switch too? Jeez.
Yeah, I have a Switch, but the issue is our Wi-Fi is weird, and I haven't been able to get it to work properly. So I'm just depressed about it.
So do you have the full Switch and not just the Switch Lite?
Yeah, full Switch, because I have a TV and it makes me happy.
Yeah.
But the original Wii is an experience that everyone should have because it was designed as it was marketed, I should say, not designed.
Yeah.
It was marketed as a way to exercise and keep in shape and all that. And you could also play tennis while eating a stick of butter laying down on your couch.
Yeah.
Eating a stick of butter.
Yeah. Have you never heard that joke before?
No.
People have done it, actually. It's disturbing.
That's disgusting.
It also, killed motion control gaming for a decade.
Yeah. Until, VR came a thing.
Well, yeah, no, but I delayed it.
Yeah.
Because everyone had a horrible experience with any actual proper gaming that wasn't, specifically made by Nintendo.
Yeah.
For motion control.
Okay, this is just me being unknowledged, probably. Didn't Xbox come out with a motion thing while the Wii was
Oh
still
yeah,
popular?
both Microsoft
They did the
and
Kinect.
Sony. Both Microsoft
They
and
did the
Sony.
Kinect, which is a little different. The Kinect is and was garbage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was more of a tacked on addition than anything. and they for some reason decided to keep it for the Xbox One.
Yeah.
And I think they actually made it mandatory for the first year or two, and if you didn't have it set up, your Xbox wouldn't work.
What?
It was so weird. Yeah, it was so weird.
Yeah, I'm so glad I waited like 2 years after the one came out to actually get it.
Yeah. It was wacky, my man. It
Yeah.
was wacky.
Yeah, that shit is.
But
It was wacky, my man.
but if you've ever tried to play an FPS of any sort on the Wii,
Yeah, it was.
you know that it's horrible.
Yeah, I know, which is why.
Mostly because of detection.
Yeah. Well, also, I was actually fortunate to get like a gamepad that you can plug into the Wii remote and actually play the game.
I didn't, and I played online multiplayer of Call of Duty Black Ops
Your most.
on the Wii.
And I think I remember you saying that your most used weapon was the M16.
Yeah, I only managed to get 70-some kills with it over months of playing.
No, but
Yeah, it's an experience that will never leave me, despite the fact I haven't touched a Wii remote in about a decade.
No, but yeah. Anyways, like, because like I know you said like New Vegas is something that everyone should play, and I totally
Yeah, but
agree.
everyone's heard that. But I will elaborate slightly.
Okay.
Because New Vegas is an experience. It is the ideal RPG, with one exception. It was made in like 6 to 8 months, so it's janky as all hell.
Yeah.
But beyond that, if you're willing to look past it, which, mind you, the launch version of the game got like an 86 on Metacritic
Yeah.
from both critics and user reviews, which were usually higher, despite the fact that the game crashed more than a man who's held 12 kegs of beer. And he's from Florida. Driving a car with 3 wheels.
Yeah. That sounds
It
about
was
right.
people still played the ever-loving hell out of it, and they still do. People still play the game, despite the fact that it is actually a decade old.
Yeah.
And it lets you roleplay. It lets you do whatever you think you could possibly do.
And it's
At no
amazing.
point does the game limit you in your decisions. It has... It takes a lot of the little issues that made Fallout 3 uncomfortable, and it fixes them. It takes a lot of the mods that were most commonly downloaded by people, and just plugs it into the base game from Fallout 3. Because it was made on the same engine,
I feel like
scarily enough.
yeah. I feel like because like I haven't really touched Fallout 3, and because like Fallout New Vegas was
You should.
technically-
Fallout 3 is fun.
Yeah, I really should.
It's not a good game, but
Which
it's fun.
Fallout
It's
is
so
the one
fun.
that I played?
Yeah, three is the one that you've been touching and going with.
Fallout 3 is... Well, it's everything that New Vegas isn't. New Vegas has some of the best writing I've ever seen. It also has surprisingly acceptable gunplay, considering the engine they were working with.
Yeah.
Fallout 3 is a janky mess, just like New Vegas, but in different ways. New Vegas is a janky mess, as in there's bugs everywhere. Fallout 3 is a janky mess because there's not as much care put into it. Because Fallout 3 is something you experience, it's not something you enjoy. No, you do enjoy it. It's weird. It's a weird game.
It's a
It's not polished. It doesn't have it doesn't have good story. It has below average writing for its side quests and all that. But it's a good time.
yeah. I should
It's
actually.
it's a shitty cheap beer that you buy. And New Vegas is a whiskey in a weird annoying bottle. The beer is cheap, easy fun that if you don't look at it too closely, you'll enjoy. If you play Fallout 3 and just do the main quest and just do the quest lines and don't explore and don't run around and do random things, you won't have fun. Fallout 3 is fun despite the main point of the game.
Yeah.
New Vegas is fun because of the main point of the game. There's not a lot of side exploring because the game just kind of sends you everywhere.
Yeah, the game is just like, yo.
It's much more organic.
It really
In
is.
Fallout 3, you walk into a town and ask for quests. In New Vegas, you walk into a town and it's on fire. And a dude with a dog hat shows up and says, "Don't worry, we're not going to lash you to the crosses like these other guys." And you're in. You're interested because you walked by a giant statuary and you went, "That's cool," and you walked up to it and you found this weird lady on a roof who's like, "Hey, there's something weird going on at the town up the road. Would you look at it for me?" And they're like, "Hey, we're crazy, but not crazy enough just to murder you."
It's like we're not gonna lash you.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic game that organically delivers quests, which is a difference between movies and video games. In movies, it is someone else's story. There's two ways to pull someone into it. It's just more than two. But the two main ways are they either do a blank slate character that you impose your own image upon, or they deliver a compelling character that you care about. And in games that are RPGs,
it's your story.
You really shouldn't institute an established character to be the main character.
No.
The player.
Which is...
Because that takes away the point.
Yeah. Because I immediately when you said that, I just thought about Fallout 4.
Yeah, that was my intention. Fallout 4, you are an established character in the world. You are a father to a wife that you know nothing about, to a son that you know nothing about, and are introduced to approximately, not including character creation, which has no world building whatsoever, and no character interaction. You have about 3 minutes before your wife is dead and your son is stolen.
Yeah.
And then the game demands that you be emotionally outraged over these events, and that you should immediately start looking to chase them down. And every single person who's played that game immediately goes, "I do not care about these people. I'm more interested in this colorful world you've dropped me into, filled with monsters of the human and radioactive variety." So
one of my
it immediately derails the story. In New Vegas, you are a person with no background and who has amnesia, so no one knows who you are. All you know is you got shot in the head by this dude over a poker chip, and they ran away. And virtually everyone can get behind figuring out either why they were shot in the head, or I'm gonna go shoot the bastard who shot me. Virtually no one goes, I'm just gonna sit in this town and farm ranch. And farm cows. No, immediately you're interested. And when you go into the town, there's a dude threatening the bar lady and the whole town by extension. And it drags you, and you're like, hey, that's not cool. And the best part is, though, if you're more into being an asshole, you can go after that guy and talk to him, and you can raid the town with him. Oh my God. You can 100% be an evil asshole in New Vegas. And not in the Fallout 3 way of, do you want to be a goody two-shoes or murder everyone? There is no in-between in Fallout 3. In New Vegas, there's a lot of gray.
There's a lot of gray area. Yeah.
And it's a fabulous experience that everyone should do. But everyone and their mother has heard of New Vegas if they're interested in video gaming. If they're interested in RPGs, because no one will ever shut up about it.
Yeah.
I'm saying that as someone who will never shut up about New Vegas.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, Megan, you said that like you don't really have any. I know you said like just anything on the Wii.
Well, I mean, honestly, I don't have any actual like games that I can think of. No.
yeah, you don't have much gaming experience. It wasn't as much
Exactly.
of your upbringing as it was ours.
Yeah.
I think the Mass Effect games are great fun. They should be played.
Halo is fantastic.
Oh yeah, but to be perfectly honest, it's not a must play like New Vegas is. I think that the Mass Effect trilogy should be played, but not for similar yet different reasons than New Vegas. New Vegas should be played because it has some of the best writing in anything ever that I've ever seen, and the Mass Effect game should be played because it has the best world building of anything ever.
That's understandable.
I'm serious. It builds a world with different races. It builds a space universe that you can have any story in. It's also a role-playing game where it does the established character thing and pulls it off, which is weird for RPGs. Usually, it doesn't work. But
yeah, that's like
in the Mass Effect trilogy, they pull it off. They pull off the idea of you're watching a different character, but you are that character.
yeah, it's kind of weird how
It's
they do
weird,
it so
but they
well.
do it, and they do it well, and it doesn't feel weird or awkward. And I don't exactly know why, because I'm not a professional writer, and I haven't played the games so extensively that I can tell you. But they do it. Bethesda didn't. They failed miserably.
No, of course. Um,
But yeah,
yeah. I actually have a few that I think like everyone should play. Which just like real quick, if somehow you haven't played Minecraft at this point, what the fuck are you doing? You have $25. I know you do. Pay the money, play the game.
Oh, everyone should play Undertale.
yeah.
Yeah,
I've never played Undertale.
I've played through a small portion, and it's a good time.
I should play Undertale.
It's really
I should play
cute.
Undertale.
It's a good game.
I was gonna say that I think everyone should play the Portal games.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They are
No,
just at basically at the top or near the top of like of anyone who's played any video game ever. Like
I'm gonna assign that a similar quality as I do Wii games. It's an experience.
it is.
I'm
It's-
not gonna play. I'm not gonna be one of the people that plays so much Portal that they manage to speed run the game in under 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not even gonna be near that.
But it's an experience. It's an interesting story, and it's a fun puzzle game.
It's honestly one of the best puzzle
a great
games
time.
I've played.
Portal 1's a short game. It's
It is
deceptively short.
It is
Portal 2 is a significantly longer game
Yeah,
than Portal 1, but that's fine because Portal 1 is almost too short, but not in a bad way. You end the game wanting for more,
and then they do,
which is a good thing. That's the sign that they did a good job.
and then they gave us Portal 2, which I remember Gabe Newell saying that it's actually his favorite game that's come out of Valve.
I believe that wholeheartedly, especially considering the story behind the development of those games.
Yeah.
In case you don't know, there was a job fair for these college students that was basically down the road from Valve headquarters, which is the company that produced Half-Life, which I don't think Megan knows, but it revolutionized gaming.
Mm-hmm.
It's Taylor, what is the movie?
What is the
Wow,
movie?
what does that mean?
Yeah. No, what is the movie that is considered like the original great movie?
What?
Okay, that's
What?
so vague.
I know. But
Kind of
can you
Oh.
give me a
is
movie?
that?
Is it like the Citizen Kane?
Yeah, Citizen Kane. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
Thank you, Taylor.
You're welcome.
Half-Life is like the Citizen Kane of films, of video gaming.
Yeah.
The first Half-Life. It was the first thing to do proper storytelling from a first-person perspective. It was the first game to have a story going on that wasn't happening. Like Doom was the first popular first-person shooter, really.
Yeah.
And the story of that game was delivered in a paragraph at the beginning, and then you just shot a bunch of demons. The same for Doom 2.
Yeah.
In Half-Life, you show up for work one day, and you go through a tram ride. No one had done that before.
Yeah.
You go about the office like it's any other day, and you get ready for your job, and it goes horribly wrong.
And then shit
and
goes off the wall.
And then stuff just keeps getting worse, and you have to just deal with this story that's happening around you, not necessarily because of you. And it was a first in so many things. And that company was huge after that. Valve was huge.
Oh yeah.
So, when the people who were basically considered the equivalent of it'd be like if you were at a job fair and Steven Spielberg showed up and said, "All right, here's $150 million to make this short into a full movie."
Wouldn't that be the dream?
And that's what happened.
That's what happened.
To the people who
that's
made
what happened
Portal.
that's what happened to these college
They
kids.
were showing this. They
Why
made this
can't
engine
people film
that did this thing that no one had seen or done before, and we're showing it off at a job fair basically. And Gabe Newell walked up and said, "Hey,
You're hired."
Here's a card. We show up and give a presentation at Valve in like 2 weeks," and they did. And they're like, "Cool, you and all your friends are hired. Make the game."
That's cool.
Yeah. It was a bunch of random dudes, random college kids, straight out of college, who made the first Portal, and then in Portal 2, which was just because the first Portal is a lot of reused assets and very plain, and Portal 2 is basically Half-Life if it was a Portal game.
Yeah.
It was a masterpiece of writing and storytelling, and a story that you felt you were part of. It was great. They nailed every aspect. And I feel it'd be like being Steven Spielberg and seeing your kid produce a movie that was as impactful as Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah. That's
Me as someone who hasn't seen that movie.
which
You
is a
haven't
crying shame. That is a shame.
Are you... Do you understand how influential that movie is?
You
Yes,
call yourself
We
a
had to
film-
slog through like 15 years of World War II shooters because of it.
Yes, I understand.
and that's not even that much of an exaggeration either.
Listen,
It's
I get
not.
it.
It's maybe
I
2 or
know
3
that
years.
there are lots of movies that I need to see that I haven't seen. Don't talk to me about it.
Okay.
No, but like,
Um,
yeah, like honestly, like I like playing through like the first Portal and then Portal 2 were both such just amazing experiences.
I don't think you should play them back to back.
No, definitely not. Because
I think you should play Portal 1 and then like 2 months later play Portal
Yeah, there
2.
was definitely a gap between me playing the first Portal and the second Portal.
Otherwise, it's just too much puzzling.
It is. It truly is. Because after the first Portal, you're just like, damn, that was fun. But I'm gonna take a break now.
And if you really like the mechanics and all that, and you're playing on a computer, which you probably should be playing on,
Yeah.
you can go and play user-made maps, which is fantastic because I did not find Portal 2 very difficult
No, it really
towards
wasn't
the end.
that-
I got a little lost towards the end of Portal 1. I found like where I was supposed to be shooting portals a little hard to find. But at the end of Portal 2, it was just...
Yeah.
I knew what I was doing, and I just ran through those last levels faster than I did any other one. And it's a weird thing to happen.
Yeah. I will say that I actually did download and I'd start playing Portal Reloaded, which is like the newest Portal mod out.
Yeah, good job.
It's
Good job.
it's really it's no, like it's like such an interesting thing because like not only are you dealing with like, you know, like just like the normal portal shooting and puzzle solving like that, there's also a third portal, which is a time portal. Which
And if Titanfall 2 has taught me anything, time fuckery is the best kind of fuckery.
time fuckery is the best kind of fuckery. Because like you literally have to take in like you have to factor in cause and effect. And like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, no, that's just...
and what you change in the future won't change in the past, but it's not the same way around, of course.
And, yeah. It's kind of like... I'm going to add one last thing to this list of games we've made.
Mm-hmm.
5-dimensional chess. It's on Steam. I'm not kidding. You can play 5-dimensional chess. People actually, I think, are starting to learn how to play it, and it scares me. But, you know, I think it'd be fun to do it, considering chess is such a game of comparing moves and knowing what you're doing and all that. That the concept of just making it so wild and insane that no one knows what the hell is happening sounds entertaining.
It does sound entertaining.
But to give Megan a bone, hey Megan, what's a movie that everyone should see?
Yeah.
That's hard. I've got a lot.
I mean, so do I, but I can name a few off the top of my head.
Yeah, no.
Well,
I
yes,
know.
but Megan's been silent. Just give her
Okay,
something.
Can I say an underrated movie I think everybody should
Yes.
see? And that would be
Yeah.
What Dreams May Come. It's Robin Williams is in it. It's one of his less known movies, but it's about this guy who dies and he goes to heaven, but he decides that in the quest to get his wife back, he will go to hell to save her. And it's a really good movie.
Yeah, that sounds like a great film.
That does
Do you have anything else you want to throw out, Megan?
I have a lot. I don't know.
It's okay.
I don't know. There are many movies that everybody should see. That is it. Just watch
Ooh.
all the movies. Every movie you can get your.
We discussed underrated movies last week, and just wanted to give Megan something.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I think we've rambled about games that everyone should play.
Yeah. All right. And our final topic, which is Star Wars, and I'm actually gonna say which part of Star Wars.
You really should.
I
It's entirely too much Star Wars stuff.
I really want to have a good discussion about quote Disney Star Wars, not just the sequels, but also Rogue One and Solo.
I can comment on most of these things, especially the animated stuff.
Oh yeah, I know you can definitely do that.
But I think the biggest thing I should say is I haven't watched Solo.
You haven't?
Oh,
I haven't
Taylor
watched
loves-
Solo. It's
Taylor
the
loves
only
that.
Star Wars movie I haven't seen.
It's a good time.
I know you like saying that. I like Rogue One. I don't know why. It's,
Ew, you like Rogue One? I hate it.
I
know.
like Rogue One.
Ew, y'all get
No,
out.
no, Megan has the point. It is the exact opposite of Black Panther.
Ha! That's funny.
The first 2/3,
Kind of meh.
they suck. There's no other way to put it. It's long-winded, boring, and just depressing. And not in a fun way.
that
Depressing
la-
movies can be fun,
Yeah,
but
that-
it's depressing in the sense of it's just everyone's sad and no one really explains why.
Yeah.
Yes, that's very true.
The last third is a fun short film about a Vietnam beach battle,
Yeah, it's great. It's so
and
good.
everyone dies, and it's great. I love it.
It's so good.
My favorite part of the movie, with the exception of Darth Vader in the hallway, is also with the exception of Dad Vader making a dad joke, is the fact that the two main characters don't kiss at the end of the movie.
Yeah, I really like that they didn't make them do that.
I like how they just kind of sat there and died.
They just kind of sat there on the beach, kind of just looked at each other in understanding and just fucking took it.
Yeah, they were content to be next to each other before they got turned into an atom.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the movie's bad, but I like it. But it's bad.
It's bad, but I like it.
Now, a movie that's bad that I don't like...
Rise of Skywalker.
Jesus Christ.
I have no idea why my parents enjoy that movie.
They like the prequels unironically.
See, I like the prequels ironically. Because of the memes.
That's fine. You can like it as a shitpost. But they're bad movies, and they don't think that. And that scares me. Anyone who thinks that there was any chemistry between Padme and Anakin,
Oh.
it worries me, man. It worries me. It was like two cardboard cutouts coated in the blood of children just hanging out.
Oh my god. Coated in the blood of children. Jesus Christ.
Oh my god, it was so bad. But...
Oh.
But no, we're not talking about that. We're talking about how Rise of Skywalker is actually the worst movie I've ever seen.
Did I?
What?
Have I seen it?
Yeah, you have.
What's that?
They opened the movie with, somehow, Palpatine survived.
Somehow Palpatine has returned, and everyone's in the movie theater like, what the fuck?
My movie theater laughed at that, just so you know.
Like everyone, like you just sit down and start watching the movie. Title crawl like comes in. The dead speak. Oh fuck! Here we go again.
No, it's like to explain that the guy that the last time we saw got thrown down a shaft that then exploded so large that the thing the size of a planet exploded with it. Somehow Palpatine has returned, and that was it. That was all the explanation given. Also a prequel quote. Yeah, no, that movie was such a mess that they were unironically just throwing out prequel lines.
That fucking prequel.
They were using memes to try and convince us it wasn't a bad movie.
Oh, that movie is
Like,
so shit.
everyone hated that movie.
That movie is so shit.
Even the crazy Star Wars lore enthusiasts hate it because they did the same thing that they did in Halo.
Oh.
Okay, so in Halo, there's a really big ship that they made a bigger version of that was ridiculous, and the way they made it is they took the ship and they scaled it up, and that was it. And the reason why everyone hated it, because the windows were sized accordingly. Instead of being window-sized, they were, 4 times as big. And they did the same thing in Rise of Skywalker for the new super Death Star Star Destroyers. Which is stupid, by the way.
It is stupid.
The whole point of the other movies was to blow up a planet. You need something the size of a moon! You can just strap it to every ship! It's a little dumb.
It is a little
I
dumb.
want to know what I'm thinking about right now.
What are you thinking about?
Spaceballs.
Spaceballs is a better
That's a
movie.
movie that everybody should see. Everybody should see Spaceballs.
Yes, it is.
I am a disgrace and still haven't seen it.
Exactly. This boy loves Star Wars.
You haven't
loves
seen Saving Private
Sci-Fi.
Ryan, be quiet.
Listen though, okay?
You're in film school!
I'm in film school and I haven't seen a lot, okay? And I'm not the only one, so don't give me
'Kay.
that.
Okay.
Okay. Disney Star Wars is a mess.
It truly is.
I like The Force Awakens.
It's a fun movie. I like watching it.
Can I say
I couldn't...
I don't like Adam Driver in Star Wars.
That's fine.
Any Adam Driver in Star Wars. It's all just bad.
Is it because you watched that one show?
What show?
The one that he was in before that?
What show?
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't
I don't
actually
watch.
know.
I don't watch shows I don't watch TV shows, if I'm being entirely honest.
See, that's the thing. Like, I know a lot of TV show history. I probably am going to go into TV and not actual, like, feature filmmaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I love movies.
I love
movies are my
movies,
passion.
but TV is where it's at for me.
Yeah, I like
Speaking
movies.
of TV, The Mandalorian.
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
It's-
I like that.
It's...
Have you seen season 2?
Yes.
Did you like season 2 as much as season 1?
No. But yeah.
Not really. Yeah. Season
No,
1 was
but
better.
yeah.
I enjoyed it, but I'd give season 2 like a 6 out of 10, while I'd give season 1 like a 9 out of 10.
Yeah. That's fair.
Nothing will
Season
ever
2
get
was
10 out of 10
season
with
2 was a lot more just look at all these Star Wars characters.
Yeah.
While season 1 was basically just a dude and his little green friend
Dude,
running around doing random stuff, and it was so much fun.
It was...
Star Wars is the perfect universe to just have a bunch of random stuff happen.
Yeah.
You don't need Jedi all the time.
You don't need space wizards all the time.
The whole point, the whole thing that happened of the prequels was all the space wizards who didn't even go anywhere and all sat in their weird monk temple all the time. They all died.
They all died.
The whole reason why Luke was important was he was the last Jedi. Except for he isn't. There was like 4 other Jedi hanging around apparently.
Yeah.
Especially if you consider the video game canon, which I think it is.
I feel
Yeah.
like somebody told me, I was talking to somebody about The Mandalorian, or maybe I was watching a video, or I don't even know, honestly. But they said that with the ending of season 2, they were like, you can't expect me to be ready for like this really important character from the universe to come back in suddenly after I'm heartbroken about these like the main characters leaving each other in this show. So he was like talking about how like Mark Hamill, well, not actual Mark Hamill, but
No,
wait, was that
he was there for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he posted about it and stuff. They de-aged his face, and he was there. They CG'd his face.
Yeah.
It was either de-aging or a full CG face.
Okay, well, CG Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
They were like, you can't expect me
weird
to be
rubbery young
prepared.
Mark Hamill.
Yes. They're like, you can't expect me to think that has as much of an impact on me after, like, the strong ending that was already there. They were like, it kind of made his character coming back less significant.
Well,
I thought that
he
was
wasn't the focus.
Yeah, he wasn't.
No, I know
He-
he wasn't the focus, but
But I
that's
agree
kind of
that
an
the
important
that
thing.
I agree that see they did the whole show though. Almost every episode they were, with the exception of like the first 2, which are very clearly filler episodes.
Yeah.
Because really, who cares about weird space spiders?
Yeah.
Who cares about weird space spiders?
Most of those episodes were basically, let's go look at this other Star Wars character. The Ahsoka episode I was fine with because it had this weird samurai thing going on, and I liked that.
Yeah, that was cool.
But then there was just like, hey, Jango Fett's around. Hey, look at these other people. Hey, look at the Darksaber. It was just a little bit much, especially by the end when Luke just shows up, which I'm fine with. I like the idea of Luke just showing up, grabbing Grogu, and leaving. I that was going to have to happen at some point. But the way they did it was a little weird. I agree with that. It was a little, hey, look at Luke Skywalker while the emotional scene was happening.
Right. It's like, here's Luke Skywalker. Now watch your 2 favorite characters be torn apart from one another, like,
Yeah.
willingly, but, like, it's still such a sad, deep, and emotional
Yeah,
thing
it
for
was a
them.
sad, emotional, weird thing.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was weird. I mean, I like Boba Fett as much as the next guy,
Oh yeah.
which is a lot. He's a cool dude.
He is a cool ass dude.
But to be perfectly honest, did we need Boba Fett?
Not really.
Did we need... Actually, no. The best episode of the entire season was when we got the comedian guy back. I forget his name.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they sneak in as stormtroopers and they shot Greg, the food guy.
They shot Greg.
Back to the food guy.
They shot Greg.
No, I swear that half those stormtroopers would not have given a damn that they shot that officer.
Yeah. Probably right.
It was nice though seeing them, seeing all those. It was nice seeing the other side of it, about the stormtroopers being so happy that they finally got a shipment through. They
Yeah.
finally did something right.
Yeah, that was a great episode.
I also like that they talked about Operation Cinder.
Mm.
In case you don't know, Operation Cinder is actually a thing from Battlefront 2, which is kind of confusing. But it is the second Battlefront 2.
Yeah, it's the newest Battlefront 2.
Battlefront 2 had a story campaign, which kind of got ruined because of Disney as well, actually.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't reveal the First Order, which was where the story was going to go in the end.
Yeah.
So they like, we have to switch sides. We can't have the character be there, and that's despite the fact that they put entirely too much in that story. I mean, the main character deserted the army, fought another army, betrayed her best friend, pursued a love interest with her other best friend, had a child, grew up with the child, had to deal with, like, and then the last section, she sacrifices her life for said child, all in the span of one story.
That's a lot. Honestly, that should be like the
I
span
miss
of,
stuff too. There was
I
also
know.
side missions where you played as other famous characters, like Han Solo with a beard for some reason,
Yeah, that's weird.
and Luke Skywalker, which has the best emotional story points, but you're also just hitting bugs with a glow stick for the gameplay.
Hitting bugs with a glow
He's not
stick.
kidding either.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, no, I had played through that entire campaign. It was painful.
Yeah, but like literally, like all the things that you described that happened in the story, literally should be played out in the span of like a trilogy.
Yeah, and drop a couple too. But no, we were talking about movies and stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh, can I complain about the animated show?
Sure.
Okay, so Clone Wars, which I don't associate with Disney Star Wars. I'm pretty sure that's before Disney Star Wars, a lot of it.
Yeah.
I think it's actually during the transitionary period, but Disney shut the show down, I think. They it's a great show, great story points, very adult a lot of the time. I mean, it discusses war crimes, politics, and a lot of stuff, my man.
And it also
Digs into philosophy. I don't know what to tell you.
yeah. And
But
it also shows
it was a fan favorite show.
and it also shows
But-
a certain character committing many war crimes.
Everyone in the show commits war crimes, Taylor.
Oh, that's true.
There's actually supercuts on YouTube that just show the specific war crimes and counts them by season. The first season has just short of 100, and I think they are breaking 400 by the third season. And they do not add previous war crimes from the previous seasons. No, they committed like 400 war crimes in one season. But that's not the point. The point was, it was a very adult show that had an adult audience that was watching it and loved it. It had a lot of fans. So, when they made a sequel to it called Rebels, which has a weird art style,
Like I honestly don't like that art style.
don't like skinny lightsabers.
No, it's weird.
But the issue is they kept bringing in characters and story arcs from Clone Wars into Rebels. And there was like moments of seriousness. in Clone Wars, Anakin has a Padawan named Ahsoka, and the relationship between the two was akin to uh, like like a father daughter thing or an uncle niece thing, and they were very close. So when she comes across Darth Vader, having grown up further, it's an emotional thing that a lot of people were interested in and cared about, and it's just intermixed with just shitty kiddie show one-liners from characters that are very much just 100% kiddie show garbage. The show is almost entirely kiddie show garbage. If you want to get the best value out of it, look up individual clips from YouTube.
Yeah, that's what I
With
did.
the prime example being the only one I cared about being the duel between Ahsoka and Vader, and the duel between Obi-Wan and Maul, which may be the best scene in the entire show. Do I have to keep carrying this podcast?
I
No.
have no comments on animated Star Wars series, so.
Well,
Yeah, I know.
I really can't say much. I mean, I did watch those exact clips from Rebels on YouTube.
Yeah.
And they were fucking awesome.
Yeah, but what it doesn't show you is there's just a bunch of just
Yeah.
bottom of the barrel humor being thrown around. Like what you'd expect from like modern day Disney XD stuff or
Yeah.
modern day Nickelodeon animated stuff.
Yeah. Just that kind of garbage.
Like Teen Titans Go level stuff.
Yeah, that kind of garbage.
I actually watched the Teen Titan Go versus Teen Titans movie that I had no idea came out.
I heard the
until I
movie was
watched it.
actually pretty good and
It
not
was
indicative of the show.
Yeah, no. I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. It introduced like Teen Titan multiverse shit and like.
Yeah, it was interesting.
The Teen Titans, like the OG Teen Titans, were obviously hilarious. Like, Robin.
They are the best things to ever happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Robin versus Go Robin, like, is hilarious because, you know, the little one wants to be exactly like the teenage one. So he's like, and they both just are so annoyed with each other though, and it's kind of hilarious. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was good. I liked it.
Yeah. Because like I actually did catch a lot of that movie,
Yeah.
even though I was.
I
doing
didn't
other
like the
things.
musical numbers. I thought that was a bit
No, that
much.
was no.
That was agitating, but
No, but yeah, I actually like did enjoy that movie.
yeah.
And while I can't really say much about the Clone Wars, because
Because you haven't watched it like the uncultured swine that you are.
exactly, I will say though,
Jason's just calling out
the one
everyone.
thing I will talk about, I won't like go like into it because really Jason should watch Solo because it is a really fun movie.
Yeah.
It's probably like the best thing like from like Disney like live action Star Wars that they've put out. Like kind of I'd honestly say it's better than Force Awakens.
I'm gonna say it. I don't feel particularly compelled to watch the movie. But if I ever have a hankering to watch a Star Wars film, I'll probably watch it.
It's a good movie.
Yeah,
But I will note I haven't watched any movies in some time.
That's
Been
sad.
reading a lot.
Okay, that's.
I mean that's
okay. What?
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 No.
I don't know.
all right. No.
Yes, I'm a little gremlin that sits in the dark and reads. Carry on.
No, but yeah.
There's a reason I introduced myself as the Thing.
No, but yeah, Solo is it's a fun movie. It's the best way I can describe it is like it's a good fun heist movie in the Star Wars universe.
Is it in the spirit of the original films as more of a fun action romp?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you'll have a good time.
Which was lost after the initial movie in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
They got a bit more serious.
yeah.
I will say I did like Solo. I know I'm pretty new to the Star Wars universe still, but like it was a good movie.
You were cutting out there.
Oh, she said, like even though she's pretty new to, like Star Wars and all that, she did say she
Which is
liked,
criminal.
which is criminal. Um, she did say that she really did like Solo a lot.
Okay. Coming from the official film person, I'll probably watch it.
Yeah. Anyways, we've been talking quite a while, and we did get through all of our topics.
Mm-hmm.
So, I do want to thank everyone who has gone this long and actually watched through all this. If you did, thank you so much. You are just as insane as we are. And yeah, I will definitely have another episode coming up next week as well. I'll have some more topics other than movies and games.
I hope so. Do we get to talk philosophy?
That might be a little too deep for next episode.
Huh.
No, not gonna jump into the collective works of Nietzsche.
If we had the discussion of TV shows, Megan could be a part of it and actually know what she's talking about.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, we can do TV shows.
Yeah. But yeah, again, thank you everyone for sticking around. I will have an episode up next week as well. And this is the Outcast podcast signing off. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Adios.